We begin tonight in Washington, D.C., where President Donald Trump took the unusual step last evening of personally joining a patrol with members of the D.C. Police and the National Guard. The move, which saw the president observing operations firsthand, is being framed by the White House as a demonstration of his commitment to law and order and support for law enforcement. This direct show of federal authority in the nation's capital comes amid a broader and increasingly contentious policy clash unfolding in other parts of the country, particularly over immigration. In Boston, a war of words has erupted between federal immigration officials and the city's leadership. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons has vowed to, in his words, flood Boston with federal agents. This promise comes after Boston's Democratic Mayor Michelle Wu reaffirmed her commitment to the city's sanctuary policies, which limit cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Lyons stated that because of the city's stance, Boston will see a larger ICE presence to remove what he called public safety threats. He referenced a previous federal surge in the area, known as Operation Patriot, which resulted in over 1,000 arrests earlier this year. Lyons insists that sanctuary policies do not create safer streets, but instead allow individuals with criminal records to remain in communities. This escalating conflict follows an ultimatum issued by U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who set a Tuesday deadline for sanctuary jurisdictions nationwide to reverse their policies or face consequences. Bondi sent letters to 32 mayors and 7 governors, warning that officials obstructing federal immigration enforcement could even face criminal charges. Mayor Wu publicly rejected the demand, calling it a political stunt and asserting that Boston follows all laws and will not back down from protecting its communities. In response to Lyons' latest comments, Wu's office reiterated that the administration should stop attacking cities to hide its own failures. While federal and local officials clash over enforcement policies, the real-world consequences of gaps in the immigration and licensing systems are drawing sharp focus in Florida. Following a tragic accident on the Florida Turnpike that killed 3 people, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced an immediate pause on the issuance of worker visas for commercial truck drivers. The decision was prompted by a crash allegedly caused by Harjinder Singh, an immigrant who had entered the U.S. illegally. Authorities say Singh was attempting an unauthorized U-turn with a large tractor trailer, causing it to jackknife and collide with a minivan, killing all of its occupants. An investigation revealed that Singh had obtained a commercial driver's license in Washington state in 2023 and a limited term one in California this year. Despite not being legally eligible and reportedly failing to pass the required English and road tests, the case has ignited a political firestorm, with California Governor Gavin Newsom's office and the Department of Homeland Security trading accusations over when Singh received a work permit. Newsom's office claimed it was granted during Trump's first term, but a DHS official countered that the application was denied in 2020 and only granted in June 2021 under the subsequent administration. Singh has since been extradited to Florida to face 3 counts of vehicular homicide. Secretary Rubio cited public safety in his decision, stating that the number of foreign drivers on U.S. roads is endangering American lives. The administration's focus on what it calls the nexus of immigration and crime extends beyond the nation's borders. Tensions are escalating off the coast of Venezuela, where the United States has deployed a significant naval force. The deployment, which includes at least 3 Aegis-guided missile destroyers and thousands of Marines, is part of the Trump administration's effort to combat drug cartels operating in the region. The Pentagon has stated that this action is a direct follow-through on the president's executive order designating these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. However, the move has drawn sharp condemnation from China. A spokesperson for China's foreign ministry accused Washington of foreign interference, stating that Beijing opposes any move that violates the UN Charter and a country's sovereignty. The spokesperson urged the U.S. to do more to promote peace and security in Latin America rather than resorting to the threat of force. In response to the American naval presence, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro has threatened to deploy 4.5 million militia members. The U.S. show of force is part of a broader pressure campaign against the Maduro regime, which the administration has labeled a narco-terror cartel. The U.S. Attorney General has also announced a $50 million reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest on narco-terrorism and cocaine importation charges filed in New York in 2020. Back in Washington, the administration's policy agenda secured a major win at the Supreme Court on Thursday. In a narrow 5-4 decision, the justices cleared the way for the White House to slash more than $783 million in federal medical research grants. The funding, administered by the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, was tied to research involving diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, as well as LGBTQ studies and other areas the administration has targeted. The unsigned majority order allows the NIH to proceed with terminating existing grants, delivering a significant victory for President Trump's broader push to roll back DEI programs across the federal government. This decision overturns rulings from lower courts, which had blocked the cuts, calling them arbitrary and capricious, and arguing the NIH had failed to provide a reasoned explanation. The Justice Department had argued in its appeal that the lower court injunctions forced the NIH to fund projects inconsistent with its priorities and intruded on its discretion. Opponents, including a coalition of Democrat-led states and public health associations, framed the cuts as purely ideological. They warned that halting these grants midstream would devastate biomedical research, disrupt clinical trials, and delay discoveries for diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's, making patients collateral damage in a political fight. While the broader legal battle may continue, the Supreme Court's order allows the administration's cuts to move forward for now.